Namaskar to one and all today. I am so honored to introduce Mr. Pramod Kumar, who is the founder of Art and Science of Management, Arian Strategies, to you today. We are here to talk on well-being. I would like to welcome Mr. Pramod Kumar to say a few words about himself. Over to you, sir.
Thank you for inviting me, Navina. And what you know about myself, I just one of the living human being. That's about it. Nothing, nothing specific. I play a lot of roles and responsibility. I act on upon various capacity, but otherwise just a simple human being. And, so that's the identity, I would say. And you can have a specific question what you like to ask about me further, but about my identity, that's about it. A living human being.
That's very humble of you, sir. Would you please let us know what you do at Arian Strategies?
Arian Strategies, actually, it's a combination of things. We do consulting, coaching, mentoring, training, workshop, all those things. And all that is done in the areas of project management, strategy management, and leadership development. So limited expertise we have, and we just specialize in that.
And what are the industries you work with, sir?
I couldn't get your few words. Can you repeat it?
What are the industries that you work with, sir?
Industries, I work with automotive, power, EPC, any organization who does a project. Most of the existing customers are from automotive industry, power industry, infrastructure industry.
Amazing to know. I have been witness to your happy to help sessions, which you actively speak about in LinkedIn. You have gone out of your way to help people who have lost jobs during this lockdown. Would you like to share a few words about it with us?
Happy to help. Yeah, Happy to Help has been an initiative from decades with me. I've been, whatever I can help with, I help. Whenever somebody loses a job, somebody needs coaching, mentoring, if I can provide some guidance, support, COVID wave, or even before that, when professionals started losing job, a similar way I used to get requests, and I used to cater them, help them, guide them, mentor them with my capacity, available time. But recent past, in last few months, when this second wave of COVID impacted the country, lot more people got affected, physically, mentally, of course, as well as professionally. So I realized that I think I cannot do it alone now. It was, there's limited time in a day. So I just got shared my thought with some of my friends and colleagues, and some of those friends whom I'm mentoring and coaching, they happily agreed to be part of it, and they say, okay, let's expand it. That's when I went to LinkedIn and published it, because if I speak about it and open up the door for everyone to connect, then I should have my plans ready. So we didn't work out everything such in detail, but yes, we have 5 team member or mentors who are ready. So we said, okay, let's go ahead and inform everyone who is needing help. They're welcome. That's where it started a couple of weeks ago. So basically, I would say it has been an initiative from decades. It took a next jump in last year when COVID impacted the country, and it went to open and out in a public domain in like LinkedIn only this year. So that's history about it.
That's really an amazing initiative. There are only X number of hours or N number of hours given to every person on a daily basis, but to want to go out and do something which would benefit the other person, having that feeling and doing it is a whole different world game altogether. Congratulations to you, sir, for going out and helping so many people. Um, while you were just speaking about these happy to help sessions, you did mention that due to lockdown and COVID, you saw that the people were physically and mentally disturbed. And that's one of the reasons you have organized this mentor session. So related to this topic, I would like to ask you, what does well-being actually mean to you?
So the way you asked, it appeared that it means different to different people. So what does well-being mean to me? Who am I? I'm a living human. That's about it. There are two words, living human. So my well-being all depends on in these two things. One is a verb, and one is a noun. So if I say living, am I living well? That's about the question always. I'm living well. It depends. What do I exist? See, the way I see this life which we have, from they was born and they will leave, it's like a playground. We are just a player. We just walked into the ground now. As long as player is in the ground, he has to do something, or she has to do something. Some role to be played. Am I playing well? And I'm improving my game. And if I can focus on these two things, am I playing well? Am I improving my game? It means I'm focusing on my well-being. I'm focusing on improving my living part. And what defines the characteristics of the game or living? Is it being human? If you look at humanity in literal sense, or even philosophical sense, whatever way you define, is very clear. And even children we teach in school what humanity means.
Yes.
We don't need to do PhD in the subject to know what humanity means. Pick up those points from humanity and just see whether we are able to play the game, we are able to play those things, and are able to improve on those things. So focusing on improving my own value to the system, my contribution to the system, that's well-being means.
That's a really awesome definition you have given there for what well-being.
What we need in life is only three things. To improve, we have only three things to contribute. And as a player, if I say, we have only three skills or three things to contribute. If we are mentally strong,
Yes.
we can provide mental support to any in the game. We can use the brain in the game. If you're physically strong, We can use our physical strength in the game. And then we have time to live. So any player, any human being need only three things: physical stability, strength, mental stability and strength, and time in life. We just play the game using these three things. Only three parameters we have, nothing more, nothing less. If one of these three goes away, we are out of the game. If time runs out, we are anyway out of the game. Life is done. If we are physically fit, mentally unstable, we can't add value.
True.
Otherwise, also mentally fit, physically unable to move, then we can't add that value. So I don't know. I just simplified these things. That it makes sense or not for large masters, I don't know. It just makes sense for me. So I just utilize this for myself.
It does make a lot of sense. So, what do you suggest to keep physically or mentally fit for others? What are your suggestions?
Suggestions. One thing should I suggest to anybody? Am I expert in all these things? No, it's I have years now, 40% left, 40 years left. So I have very little experience about what should I tell others? Because being a master of anything, you need to do it many times. One life for that to 60 years experience is not enough to tell anybody. Yes, I can share what I do. That's about it. It works for someone, excellent. If it doesn't work, it's excellent. Because see, everybody's life is different.
Yes.
Okay. Everybody's thought process is different. Their value system is different. They might do the same action. They might speak the same words.
Yes.
But thoughts behind this would be different.
Mm-hmm.
For the same action, intention behind this could be different. So my suggestion may not work. I do what I do, just as I said, I just keep very simple concept in my mind. Am I physically fit? Am I mentally stable and fit? And am I utilizing my time effectively? So being physically fit, just adopt healthy lifestyle, which is well defined from childhood. Teacher taught us, our parent taught us, right? It's nothing new. It's just we know it what healthy lifestyle means. We should know what to eat or not to eat. You should know how much to eat and how much not to eat. Yes. When to eat. It's all we know. Same thing for mind, what to think, not to think, being happy, being relaxed. If I say you don't have to sit for yoga, exercise, and meditation to learn that. We knew it from childhood.
True.
Then why did you forget that? In childhood, if you recall, we never used to open our mouth for extra bite if our stomach is full.
Yes.
Even somebody feeds something.
Yes.
In childhood, we play around, be happy, jolly with every situation, but why did you forget? So many of the lessons of childhood are still valid. Once you forget them, then we need somebody to remind them. Yes. Okay, so I think it's interesting sometimes the cycle also. That we forget those lessons which were taught to us, and then we go to run around those ashrams, those gurus, and those people to guide back. But what do I tell anyone which is new? I'm sure whatever I told you in last 15 minutes, you knew all that. And anybody watching video will be knowing all that. Yes. So that's why I resist to tell anybody what they should do. Of course, I don't resist to tell to my daughters, 2 daughters I have, and that's my responsibility to guide them, mentor them, coach them, because they ask for it. Rest, anybody asks, I have a question to tell. Rest, I in no means my suggestions are universally proven. Okay.
This is
So
your experience that you're sharing with us, and that is very, very valuable. Because when we learn from people like you everybody has only a certain amount of time, but people like you have taken it one step further, and with the knowledge that you have and experience you have gained, you have taken the support of people and you're mentoring people to go ahead with a healthy lifestyle to help them in their day-to-day problems in career and job search, and coach startups is a very big thing. What suggestions or what would you like to share for the future leaders of tomorrow?
future leaders of tomorrow. Just be leader. We know leadership qualities. They're very, very fundamentals. That's why I say life is so simple, nothing complex, which um, I would tell anything new, but just be leader. Yeah, first that, before that, be human. So all the few, whatever few qualities of being human exist. Live, it means physically fit, mentally fit, and have time to do what you're supposed to do. Okay, it means remove all those time wastages and all. Third thing, being a leader, just 30 years ago. So I'm 60 now, so I don't remember much, but I read a lot of leadership presence in past, and which comes in the form of books and speeches. We see a lot of different type of leaders exist in different type of times. Leaders are actually, I would put it differently. A lot of discussion happen in a couple of days, also happening on internet, LinkedIn somewhere, that leaders are born and leaders are made by training and coaching. I don't know whether this need to be a debate, because leaders are not born and not made. Leaders, they evolve themselves to be a leader, graduate themselves to be a leader in challenging times. Doesn't matter how many people you do your training, leadership training attended by thousands of people, and not like thousand lakhs of people. A lot of program happen, a lot of videos, even degrees and certificates are there for leadership. So what? Do you have so many leaders?
Good question.
It's like you try to train everybody to be a firefighter, how to douse the fire. But when actual fire happens, how many actually do the firefighting? So leaders are born in those critical junctures, in those chaotic situation, in the turbulence.
Yes.
Even though they're taken that time, or they are graduated that time to be a leader, to be called a leader. Before that is our journey of learning. We learn leadership quality, we learn A, B, C, skills and competency, journey of learning. But the graduation happens when you prove yourself to be a leader on the ground, when leadership required, when anybody wants your support to move forward, anybody look at you as a savior, and you are able to extend your hand and take them. That's the leadership. So I'm sure all the knowledge exists. Those future leaders would be a lot more smarter and more intelligent than what we had been. Some of the leaders in past had been excellent leader in certain aspect, but those were having issues with their temperament towards humanity, towards other human being. They were called taskmaster. I don't want to name an open forum, but we all know humanity need kind people.
Yes.
Leader has to be kind now, because challenges, pains are all around. We don't need another leader with pushing people around and all. So be kind, being human, and be kind to everyone, and that self make us lead somebody. And last and final thing, which I would always tell to everyone who normally I tell to whenever anybody asks in coaching conversation,
Yes.
but don't ask me what you have to do. Ask yourself, are you a role model?
That's a wonderful question.
Yes, if you can ask yourself, are you a role model? You'll change yourself the way you need to be. You don't have to follow Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela. You don't have to follow Navina and Pramod Kumar. You just ask yourself, in your view, what a role model looks like. Are you a role model? You'll find a way.
That's a
So
very
it's a
important.
journey more within. Go ahead.
Please go ahead, sir. It is a journey going within. Please continue.
And I was completing it with the thought that being a good leader, being a good role model is journey within inside first. When we realize what we are, realize what value we carry, realize that am I behaving like a role model? Do I have all qualities, capabilities, and competencies to be a role model? I think if that journey starts, we ourselves can be the possibly greatest, the best version of ourselves, which everybody like to follow.
Yes. So how to start this journey?
How to start this journey? There are a couple of dimensions to that. One dimension is, of course, which I just shared, look within and find out why do we exist? What is our game? We are in the ground now. And we are not a ground by ourselves. We are not self-made.
Mm-hmm.
We are heavily invested by so many people, stakeholders.
Mm.
A lot of people say we are self-made leader. No, nobody is self-made.
Right.
It's my view again. We are created by our parents, heavily supported by them in childhood.
Mm-hmm.
If some situation parents are not there, somebody else takes care of us, play a role of a parent. Then teachers refine us. Society supports us.
Yes.
Organization and institution gives an opportunity to perform. They all invest in us.
True.
So where to start? Start with who has invested. Are we able to justify our presence there in the ground now? Are we able to play well? Every hour we are living, are we giving the value back to the system or to the stakeholders who invested in us? So I see a lot of jargons, not jargon, but they're actually used so very often, giving back to society. Oh, you're doing great giving back. No, it's what great I'm doing giving back to society.
Mm.
Think about it. It should be natural.
Mm.
Not giving back should be abnormal, but giving back becomes so great. See, if you look at childhood, our parent
Yes.
gave us so many things. Our teacher gave us, society gave us, institution gave us. Everybody, till we grew up, everybody kept giving us something. So why we didn't learn giving as a default natural state of our affair every day? Why taking becomes so default and giving becomes so special? Oh, I'm giving back to society. No. So even happy to help is not giving that to society. It has been a part of natural state of my life. Only thing is, it came to LinkedIn recently to look like I'm giving back to society now. It was natural giving back to society. Only thing expanded now, because I needed a bigger support from bigger team. So I take it giving back should be so natural. Nobody should make a nobody should have an interview for, oh, how do you decide to give back to society, or video, oh, I'm giving helping somebody. No, I don't need to have a video I'm helping somebody. I don't have to have an interview for me, oh, Pramod Kumar giving back to society. This is a natural life I'm just living.
That's a beautiful way to look at it, sir. Uh, I'm truly humbled to have you here on our video today, sharing your thoughts, your points of view on how you carry forward your day-to-day life, sharing your knowledge with others, which is something which comes naturally to you. I'm so grateful that you are part of our session here today, and I look forward to speaking to you once again. I thank you for your time and your patience coming online and sharing your point of view with us today. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you for talking and listening to me. It shows your willingness to get something out, but just remember, nothing great, nothing special I'm doing, just living. Like I,
So if everybody starts thinking like you, I think the world would be a much better place. The fact that you said don't giving is a natural thing. Why isn't anybody thinking of it that way? If everybody starts feeling like that, then the world will actually become a much better place, I would say. It is really a pleasure for me to talk to you, sir. Thank you. I'm really honored.
take care.
Take care. Thank you, sir.